Okay, this is going to be a part two because I accidentally hit stop instead of pause, and I don't really want to edit these videos together. So, um, so I was gonna be seeing my friend in Canada within like a week, and I've been hanging out with this woman for like 2 weeks at the time, and I just realized I was not into him at all. And when I was with this woman and we were cuddling and just kissing, I saw like a million suns. And those suns were just like shining bright, beautiful colors. And and I'd never seen that with a man before. I'd never seen once in my life. I had never seen this beautiful magical like energy before. And I've been like trying to think, like, even before I like hung out with this woman, I've been thinking, why hasn't it worked out with men? Why do I always have to hype myself up when hanging out with them? Why do I always have to force myself into a trance when hanging out with them? I always thought it's just because there was something wrong with me, you know? Um, I could never fall in love with a man. If you dated me and you were a man and I told you I loved you, I'm sorry, but I was lying. And I made myself I forced myself to believe that I loved that person because I thought that's what love was. I never really saw my mom get true love growing up, so I always thought I could never understand true love. So I thought maybe when you're with someone, you just kind of compromise, and when you hang out with them, you're not having a great time, or that something was wrong with me because I had brain damage. Because whenever I would hear people talk about like how they liked someone, and how they're falling in love and they're having this beautiful romance and everything just feels so blissful, I never believed them because I never felt it for myself ever. I never felt like I was in love with a man. I forced myself to believe a version of love when I was with men. Um, you know, and forced myself to believe a lot of things. Like, I never really liked being intimate with men, but I still was because I thought, hey, that's just how it is, maybe because men and women are never going to understand each other. Maybe they just can't have good sex, right? And I realized that's not true at all because just a couple of weeks hanging out with this woman, I'm already feeling like I'm falling in love, and I don't even feel like I'm trying. I don't even feel like I just felt like it started happening. Like, I don't even feel, it doesn't even feel like I have to put work into my feelings. It feels like my feelings are being themselves, and it's got to be some of the easiest like experience I've ever had in my entire life. So it got me thinking, like before I was hanging out with her, I was trying to figure out if I was a lesbian, and I didn't have confirmation on that because I hadn't hung out with women, I hadn't had a lot of experience with women as an adult, um, and could never really confirm that for myself. So hanging out with her more and more, it's been almost a month now, I have all the confirmation in my heart that I am a lesbian. I I never realized it. I was never hiding it either. A lot of people try to hide that part from themselves. But I do believe that it was locked away. Part of my heart was locked away, and I just couldn't understand myself because all my life, any decision I make, what with friends, romantic relationships, eating food, hanging out, talking, any conversation, any kind of decision I would make, I had no confidence in myself whatsoever. Like, I'd think, oh, is this something I'd really do? Is this who I am? I would never understand. Ever since realizing that I am a lesbian, I have completely understood myself more than I've ever known. Like, now that I like in my day-to-day life, I don't feel so doubtful. I always felt like I was never fully myself, like I was an unfinished puzzle, and there was just that piece of me that just was gone, and I couldn't, and I just tried to spend years and years and years. I was like, when is the day that you're finally just going to be able to be confident and feel like you are a person and that you aren't an empty soul? And that piece, that puzzle piece, got put back in my heart recently, and now I can see the full picture. And not only can I see the full picture of like who I am and my sexuality, I can see the full picture of who I am as a person, because your sexuality is not just your preference, but because it is a part of you and it's genetics, and genetics is a part of you, you understand so much more about yourself. You understand your mannerisms, you understand the way your brain works, the way your brain thinks, you understand your little behaviors, your little habits. You understand every little idiosyncrasy about yourself. With the clearest sky that there ever could be. And to be honest, I always thought there was something wrong with me. I always thought that I couldn't understand true love because I never really saw it be given to my mom older. Or maybe I just didn't know. I thought true love looked like something else. And the adults around me and other people around me and my friends and family, like, I just never saw, I never knew, my family just wasn't exactly the healthiest, and I didn't really see love growing up. I mean, I saw, like, we love each other as a family, but I never saw romantic love, truly. So I always thought I couldn't understand it, because I didn't see it growing up. And I always thought because I was damaged ever since age 2, I could never be fixed. And I truly believed that my brain damage was, always going to be the reason I couldn't figure myself out. And now that I know that that's not true, and that there's nothing wrong with me, and that I just like women instead of men, it has opened such a huge door for me, and I have been beating myself up less emotionally. I don't actually beat myself up. About who I am as a person. Like, I don't think of myself as an outcast anymore. I don't think of myself as someone who is just that little girl with the brain damage. I think of myself as someone who is beautiful and colorful and gay and fun and magical and playful and silly. I never knew that there was this part of me. Because, a lot of people would say, like, oh yeah, I always knew, I just hid it. Well, for me, like, excuse me, looks don't really matter that much. It's about personality for me. But I still had attraction to men, you know. And it's just that I could never get past any further. It could never be more than an attraction. I could never, you know, and sometimes men can look like women, and women can look like men, you know, like we're living in this world where we can be wherever we want, you know. So so the distinction was kind of like not really there, you know, as long as it was personality. But no matter how much I could connect emotionally like a friend, I could never connect physically and romantically with a man because of the plumbing down there. Whenever it got physical and intimate, I never enjoyed it. I never felt like I could connect with someone emotionally and fall in love with them deeper romantically. Last guy I dated, I told him I loved him because I thought I did. And I cried when I got home that day because I was like, this is it. This is the love of my life. I'm never going to get the chance to say I love you to anyone ever again. And this is what love feels like. This is kind of shit. This love feels like shit. You guys remember, if you watch the bisexual videos that I made like 5 of them, and in those videos I was talking about this guy and how I thought he was my soulmate. And now I realize, now that I've taken off the goggles and realized who I am as a person, I realized the only reason I thought he was my soulmate is because I didn't know how I felt, you know, with women, because, well, I knew how I felt with women, but I didn't know women could be so much more to me. And I thought, like, well, I thought, hey, I didn't want to find another man, you know, like, it didn't feel great to find, to think that there was something better out there. I didn't think I could find anything better because I'd been trying so hard and I hadn't been finding anything better for years, you know, so I was like, okay, well, this is my soulmate, because I was just done trying at that point. I was like, I don't want to find someone different, you know, but then women came into my life. I mean, women have always been in my life, but, you know, recently, romantically, a woman has come into my life, and I realized that I would love to be endgame with a woman romantically, and I could get married to a woman, and I could have a family with a woman. Thinking about having a family with a man? No. But having a family with a woman, raising a kid with a woman, oh my god, with my wife. Whew. I feel it's getting a little hot in here. Thinking about that, you know, like, I remember when I was younger and I was like, I don't know if I could have a woman as a soulmate and marry her, but I definitely want to be with a woman, you know, for the time being. And then as I got older, I realized that, and I dated more men and saw that nothing was going there for them. I thought, maybe I just can't marry. Maybe I just can't commit, you know. And then I've been with a woman romantically, and I've been thinking, wow, yes, I can commit as long as it's a woman, you know, because I've rethought all these things, and in my heart, it just feels it's just so easy. With men, it felt like a chore. It felt like a job. It felt like I had to want that stuff. It felt like I had to compromise and want a family with them and be intimate with them, you know, because I thought that love was all about compromise, and I didn't think true love existed the way I thought it did. I didn't think it was like a fairy tale. And I was more realistic. I was a realist. I was thinking realistically. And now that I've been with a woman, I understand why people say it feels like a fairy tale when you're falling in love, because I feel like I'm in a fairy tale right now, and I've never felt like that in my entire freaking life. Whenever people would tell me they would fall for someone and they're happy and their relationship's so blissful, I would never believe them because I never felt it myself. But now I believe you if you tell me that you just. I would tell my friends and family like how I feel about this woman and how I feel like I'm falling in love with her, and they'd be like, "That's exactly how I feel about my partner." I was like, "Wow, that's so interesting," because like I didn't know. Like now I believe you because we used to talk about this before and I never believe you, but like it's so interesting how that's how it's supposed to feel. That's normal. What's normal is the feeling of beauty. I thought it wasn't normal to get something super blissful because I thought it was super rare. And I just realized that it wasn't with the right people. It wasn't ever going to be the right path with men. Men were never going to be the right path. They are never going to be the right path. And I will never be able to fall in love with a man and be able to be intimate with a man and like it. I had been convincing myself that I liked it all these years, but I don't at all. Just because it feels good physically does not mean it feels good emotionally, Sometimes physical pleasure can blind us. And that's why we need to separate the physical from the emotional and understand that the emotional is who we truly are and what we truly are on the inside. And the person that you can connect with emotionally, that's the truth. Emotion is the truth. And the truth has been revealed to me, and I have been set free. I feel like I have wings and I'm flying inside a beautiful, beaming, shining sun that's pink and orange. And maybe some other colors like yellow. Just a beautiful, fiery, sunset-y sun. And I'm excited to see where my emotions take me, and I'm excited to realize so many other things I didn't realize and see what being in love feels like. Because I'm not in love yet, but it'll be the first time in my life I've fallen in love. And I don't, excuse me. Oh, my toes are cramping. I don't know what that feels like. I do not know what it feels like to be in love. I do not. At all. I thought I knew, but now that I'm experiencing this for the first time, I realized I didn't know. It's like the goggles were taken off, the blinders were taken off, and I could see everything for itself. Everything I understood, like my childhood and everything. I mean, my first crush was on a woman. I liked women more than men, and the only reason I leaned towards men is because I took what I could get. It's hard for a woman to date a woman in my experience. In my opinion. I mean, I'm 27 and I'm just finding this out. Itchy nose. But I thought, hey, if a guy likes me, I'll just give him a chance and maybe I'll like him back. And I just could never get to the point of love. I could connect with them as a friend, but couldn't connect with them on a deeper level. Now I know why. So, I've got a lot to experience, and I'm looking forward to all this new stuff, and I'm just so happy I can be me now. I'm so happy I understand myself completely, fully, who I am. I had no idea who I was until as of recent. And I've got all this confirmation from one woman. Now, I could have with other women, but like I said, I hadn't been romantic with women as an adult unless I was drunk, you know. So as of recent, and I developed an allergy to alcohol a year after I started drinking alcohol. So now anything I do in life, I'm going to be sober. And I've been hanging out with this woman and I've been sober the entire time. And now I've been able to make a realization for myself sober, and have 100% pure intentions and realizations and not have any additives manipulate that or be a factor into the realization process of me realizing that I'm a lesbian. She's so cute. Yeah, I'm excited to see where things go with her. And I'm just so happy I finally decided that I would start pursuing women, because I knew somewhere deep down something deep inside me was trying to release itself, explode. I had a chain on my heart. And as of recently, that chain has exploded. And this version of me I didn't even know existed is now coming out. Literally. And soaring to new heights. And feeling the feelings she should have felt when she was younger but never did. Finally feeling what it's like to fall in love. And how effortless that is. Alright? So, if you should take anything from this video, try to find out sooner rather than later. I know people say there's no rush, and there really was no rush for me to make this video, but I knew. And once you know, you know. And, it's like I couldn't wait anymore because, I knew, how much more confirmation did I need? I didn't need any more confirmation, I know who I am. And that's enough. Listen to your heart. Do not ignore it. Maybe you don't feel like yourself. And you don't feel like you can love someone because you were loving the wrong thing and you didn't realize it. So maybe if you're struggling and you don't understand and you're having an identity crisis or even a crisis, take a step back. Listen to your heart. What is it singing for the most? What does it want? What is it yelling the loudest? And just focus on that. For me, it was women. My heart was screaming women the loudest. And now I know why. Alright, thank you so much for taking your time out of watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment the video down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Love y'all. Bye.